I mean, this does feel like a Saturday. What episode is this? Oh, there it is. Hello. Come in, Moscow. Come in, over. Let's check this out. Keep talking, baby. Keep talking. Come in, come in. I'm on YouTube just seeing if it's working.
How's that? Okay, I'm coming through. Talk on your side.
Come in, Moscow. Come in,
Okay,
over.
there we go. Okay, let's restart this. Hey, look at that. It's only about 16 minutes late. Third attempt at trying to get the Weekend Craic going. And guess what? We finally got it going.
You just jinxed it by
Episode
saying that.
68. I've got my cap on. Jeez, dude. You've been practicing that for a while. Yeah,
well, in working from home on Teams all day, every day, you learn new tricks.
Are you practicing that with or without your camera on?
No, yeah, I use mirrors. You should see behind this camera. There's just mirrors everywhere. It's like, remember those bobbleheads?
Yes.
Toys.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just random stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you would work very well in India. Yeah. Yes.
No.
Yes. It's a bit disconcerting
Anyway.
when they yes, that's fine.
Oh yeah, it's not just common to India. It happens all over.
Is
where they
it?
go, no.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
What you saying in your body language? They're not
Yeah.
connecting very well.
Something lost in head translation here.
Yes. Anyway, so episode 68, Oleg is getting some physio.
Yeah.
He had a sports injury recently, and
What is that exactly?
well, he was out running with his wife and tripped and hurt his wrist.
He tripped.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah, we won't go into details.
Is this the start of his getting old?
Well, this is what he was telling me. No, dude, I'm still young. I heal quickly. And then when he said he was going for a physio thing, I messaged him and said, "Hey, dude, what's the story? Old sports injury." And he was like, "Oh, dude, my wrist hasn't really gone back to what it was before. Old age, eh?" He dodged the question. He dodged the comment.
Yeah.
He ignored it completely. Anyway, so he's not here. It's just you and I, baby. It's just you and I. Yeah, so how's your week been, dude? Well, I mean, it's 2 weeks since we had our last episode, so...
Yeah, you've had a little holiday break.
Yeah, I had a bit of a
hazy break?
Yeah, well, first I had a Cape Town emergency
Jaunt,
yeah. Yes. And fortunately, that all worked out okay.
Good.
And then I came back on the Thursday, and the Friday I climbed in my car and I went off to Hazy View. I haven't sent you photos yet, have I?
No, it's quite all right. I really don't need them.
Yeah. Anyway, so we had a good time. We were in Hazy View Cabanas. We went into the Kruger Park a couple of times. Saw some animals.
How busy is it down there now? Is it like what it should be pre-COVID, or
well, look,
still noticeably different?
No, look, in the park, it's pretty busy. It seemed pretty busy. I mean,
yeah,
fair number of foreigners. Definitely,
really?
Yeah.
Are we talking foreigners from Swaziland or Mozambique, or are we talking
out of
Europeans?
Africa, dude? Out of Africa. Yeah, there were quite a few. Actually, I went to the Kruger Park in May, beginning of May.
That's right.
And even then, there were quite a few foreigners then. And now this time, I noticed quite a lot of South American people from Chile.
Is there no quarantine?
In South America, no, I don't think
No,
so.
coming into South Africa.
No, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem
Oh.
like it. And what's happening in the UK? I mean, is there still quarantine or?
They have changed it this week.
Back to what?
Well, not back to anything. It's just something new. All right, let me reiterate. So this week I have actually left the country.
Oh,
On a business trip. I went to Germany.
Oh, nice.
And this is the first time I've been over there in 18 months.
Oh, wow.
So the last time I was there, as COVID started taking over Italy, that was my last trip.
Okay.
So it was interesting. Some things are the same, some are very different. But yeah, just on the quarantining side, what a mission. What a
Really?
mission to travel. Yeah, I mean it's better this week. So Monday the UK changed their restrictions slightly, which means I didn't need to do a COVID test while I was away before I came back,
Okay.
which I would have had to have done if I went last week.
Yeah.
So the UK is on the red list. Let me speed through this. The UK is on the red list when I go into Germany, and there's a lot of forms to fill in online. It takes forever. And at the end of it, it comes out that I'm coming from a red list country. Therefore, when I land, I have to quarantine for 10, 14 days or whatever it was.
What?
And I'm like, hang on a second. Guys, I work
I'm
with
only
me
here
going
for the
over there.
days. I'm only here for the day.
I'm only here for 4 days. Just
Shit.
calm down. And then so I actually wasted a whole last Sunday afternoon just going through I'm sure there's something wrong here. And after many, many pages of government website, I got to the bottom of this one page and it says, basically if you're double vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine. But, they could have saved me 3 hours of my life by putting that right at the top of the form. All right, so I had to fill in this form. The application crashed. There's another story. I've had the Frankfurt health authorities tracking me down all week while I was there. Because you have to upload your vaccination certificate.
All right. So I was going to ask about that. What do you have as proof that you've had your vaccine?
So the National Health Service gives us this barcode certificate showing you when you did your first and second dose. Okay. And it's quite cool. I mean, I can have it as an email, as a PDF, and I've also got it in my Apple Wallet on my phone. So it comes up. I can access it straight away. They do expire, so I have to go and renew the barcode, the QR code that I have every few weeks.
Oh, and how do you renew it?
Oh, I just go into my National Health Service app and just get a new one.
Oh, I see.
So it takes a couple of minutes.
All right.
So it's simple.
Okay.
But without that, in my wallet would have been a mission.
Sure.
So anyway, I crashed this website. No, this app crashed. I couldn't upload my vaccination certificate. Anyway, Monday morning, I went through the whole thing again. This time it worked. So they have on their records 2 records for me. One with a certificate and another one with not. They don't worry about the ones with all the certificates. But geez, they were chasing me down 2-3 times a day going, you are quarantining. And I'm like,
no, I'm not.
Busy. This is on emails, right?
Oh.
And I sent them a whole message in German saying, this is the story. This is what's happened. No, not having it. Not having it. Go and upload. And it's like, you can't upload without going through the whole registration again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's mission. Eventually, got a German colleague to talk them through it on the phone, and it's all okay. Yeah. But I was like, we went on for days.
Oh, no. Jeez. So you were there for 4 days. What was it like?
It's the same, but not the same. So it was weird going to my office. because we have packed up all of our buildings there, and because we're only. What on earth are you doing?
I was waiting for that. I'm taking a photo of my cat sitting on my desk.
This is like selfies gone wrong.
I don't know if I would. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I am interrupting you.
I'll walk through the story.
No, you can't. Can you see
No,
that?
I can't see. No. No.
Okay, I'll send it to you on the group.
Send it to me later.
Yeah. Sorry, we digress. Yeah.
So it was a ghost
same,
town, right?
but not different.
So there's lots of people normally in my office. We're across several buildings. We're a few hundred people. And now I go there and it's a ghost town. I walked through all these offices, all empty. Half of them are packed up. It was just eerie. It's like no one ever existed there.
Holy cow.
Because everyone's working remotely, except for the critical team on site.
Sure.
Weird, man.
Yeah.
Other things like...
so, I mean, what was the purpose of you going there? I mean, did you have to go fly there, or was it the kind of thing that you could have done it remotely, but you decided to fly, or what was the...
No, it's a long story, but yeah, it was a 2-day workshop. Plus, I used the excuse to catch up with some key team members, and which I haven't seen in 18 months. I met somebody who works for me for the first time this week.
Oh,
he's been working for me for 9 months.
Okay.
So yeah, everyone seems shorter. Yeah, because I'm so used to seeing, this is what you see, like the headshot on a team's meeting.
And then when
you
you
don't know if
meet
they're in a
someone they don't
wheelchair
know.
or if they're 6'10". You don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point, that.
Yeah, a lot of new people have started, so I met some and I'm like, you're just not what I was expecting. Oh, there's a cat.
There's a cat.
He's making his debut.
There's a gremlin in the machine, dude. Cat? What cat? What are you talking about?
So other little things different. I noticed a lot of people wearing masks outdoors there, which is just doesn't happen in the UK.
Okay. Is it mandatory, or is it just personal choice by those people?
People follow guidelines there. They follow where I was, they follow social distancing even after all this time. Outdoors, indoors.
Wow.
Everywhere.
And which part of Germany? Which part of Germany were you in?
I was in Frankfurt, north part of Frankfurt.
Okay.
Every restaurant you go into, it's the same thing. You got to social distance while you wait to be seated.
Oh wow.
We'd got rid of that months ago.
And what's it like in the UK at the moment? Like, it's just like normal. People just go for it.
I think
masks, social distancing.
I mean, they don't even wear masks in some supermarkets anymore.
Yeah. And what are the numbers looking like? Or people don't really care anymore?
I think people have stopped looking at numbers.
Oh wow.
I'm going to have a quick check.
Dude, I haven't looked at the numbers here in South Africa for a while.
But it was interesting. Every restaurant I went into, every bar or wherever I was going, you show your vaccination certificate.
Oh really?
If you don't have
like your barcode.
Yeah. If you don't have it, you don't come in.
Oh wow. Fair enough.
Yeah. So just before this, part of my re-entry into the UK, also more forms to fill in. I had to do a PCR test this morning.
This morning?
That off. It's part of the regulations. Yeah.
Oh right.
2 days after you get back, you do a test.
Okay.
That's a mission. I mean, it costs money. But they send you the box. You do your test. You put it in the post, and off you're done. They do all the
so it's like a self-test. So you can do your roommate.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, while I was there, we were testing every day.
Where, in Germany?
Every time we went, where I was working, that's part of our policy. We test every day.
Wow.
I mean, that's just
like a rapid test. Antibody test?
Rapid
test, yeah.
We call it the pregnancy test.
Okay.
It's a little thing, wait for the little line to appear. I keep joking about, it's such a small hole, when you're trying to wee on it, it's quite hard to get it spot on. All right, let's have a look. So the UK seems to still be about 36,000 new positive cases a day. The critical numbers are pretty much the same. around 800. Death rate still about 100 and something a day. It's been like that for a few weeks. Let's check South Africa. Right, South Africa, new cases, less than 1,000. And that seems constant. Death rate's 100 and something, 130 odd. Constant. Yeah. So obviously we're doing a ton of testing here. I don't know what it's like there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Look, I mean, from a work point of view, doing. Every time you go into the office, they do a rapid test, something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been vaccinated already. There's a big drive by the company to do vaccinations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They've got a certificate to do vaccinations. And they've got different sites that they're
using your preferred health partner?
Yeah, I think so. Good question.
Because it's got to be done by...
by the clinics. Yeah, because remember, our company's got their own clinics.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So they got nurses, they got medical practitioners. Yeah.
Our vaccination rates are dropping off. If I look at...
is that like vaccinations per day or the...
No, total.
Total.
I'm just looking at the totals.
Okay.
Total vaccination, fully vaccinated, is only 67.5% of the population. So, I mean, it's been like that for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's starting to plateau. Let's have a look at South Africa. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, South Africa is going strong. At least one dose, the 22% of the population.
Yeah, that's good.
Double vax, 16. And the rate of adoption is high.
That's good. Yeah, let's get it over and done with, dudes.
So I'm hearing rumors, because we've been needing to come to South Africa to for various business reasons. But we've had this problem that if we go over, there's quarantining both ways, regardless of vaccination. But it looks like South Africa's coming off our red list.
About time, man. There's been a lot of chatter about that, yeah. It's like, why won't they take us off the list? Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I'm still going to go through all this paperwork and 100,000 COVID tests along the way. But it looks like it's going to be feasible. We just hired a guy who works in Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
He's our new CFO.
Yeah.
And he was in Frankfurt 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what? How does this work?
Yeah.
It's like different rules. The session I was had in Frankfurt, I was supposed to be in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But somehow we can't meet in Amsterdam because of COVID restrictions and rates, but we can meet, the same group of people can meet in another country.
It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
How does this work? I don't think this COVID testing is going to go away. I think we're just going to live with it for a while.
Yeah. And then the next virus comes along and we'll be back to square one again.
Did I see a movie on Prime or something? COVID 20 something? It's like...
Is it a documentary or...
No, it's like a movie. And basically the synopsis was everyone's been dealing with how to work with COVID-19 for 5 years or something. It's still going on. Everyone's hot full. And then a new variant comes out and it's all carnage. But it's not just COVID, like your skin falls off your face kind of thing.
No. Like Ebola kind of thing.
Oh, geez. Now you've got me talking on another thing.
No.
So how's this?
What?
So I think last time we did this podcast, I was talking about how we can't get fuel for the cars.
Oh, yes.
Plenty of fuel about, somehow, somewhere, something wrong with distribution. Panic buying is carnage.
Oh, yeah. First world country, reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so off I will go to Germany. They have no fuel shortages. They've got this COVID thing nailed somehow. Their rates are much less. Everyone's laughing at me, thinking that the fuel shortage is linked with Brexit. There's the problem with gas prices starting to escalate.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So COVID. This is me coming back on a taxi from the airport on Thursday night. So we're talking to the taxi driver, making sure he's got fuel to get me home. So it's like, how's the fuel situation? No, it's still the same. It's still everywhere shut. Yeah. It's lucky if you get some. Okay, so we got COVID. Yeah, COVID's still here. We've got this diesel problem. Yes, we've still got a diesel problem. We've got the gas problem. Yeah, that's still about to emerge. And then I go through all this going, fantastic to be home. And then he says, yeah, there's something new.
I should
know about.
No. While you were away.
So basically, because I'm first world country, perhaps, but our water supply company does regular tests on the quality of water that they supply.
Yeah.
They've only found what is it called? E. coli.
Yeah.
They found it in the water. Our water is now not fit to drink. So I'm sitting here going, I've still got a broadband that could go any second because they're digging up the roads everywhere near me.
Yeah.
And I've got electricity. But every now and then we get power cuts.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, nothing like load shedding. No, it's when it rains heavily, this infrastructure tends to get wet, something blows up.
Yeah.
So I think you guys are styling it there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're starting to describe a third world country there, dude. So.
We're going to start building castles again soon to protect our toilet paper.
You're going to have a moat and some crocodiles and alligators and some piranhas and shipped in from around the world.
What else do you do with contaminated water? It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, true. So talking about outages, in your expert opinion, what are your thoughts on the whole Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp outage?
My network guy I met in Frankfurt this week, he looks after all our sort of external networks. And he told me about it because I don't really watch the news when I'm traveling. And I was like, what? Because I know a bit about the organization and what they do and how they do it.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of redundancy built into stuff.
Okay.
Because they can't afford this sort of bad press.
So
it's always a surprise when some glitch happens. So I don't yet know what the cause is.
Yeah.
But
They're
it's
not
still
saying.
a surprise.
They're not saying, eh? But I mean, I find it, well,
maybe it's the
I suppose the first logical thing is that, okay, it's all the same company, so all the services for the same company went down, okay? But I like almost find it difficult to believe that they would have all the eggs in one basket, if you know what I mean.
And I would second that.
Yeah. And then likewise, you would think, okay, well, sure, if there was going to be an outage, you would think, okay, maybe there's an outage in a particular region.
Yeah.
But everyone that I spoke to, going from the US to South America to Africa to Australia,
the whole world,
everyone was out.
Yeah.
So that's like, okay, I mean, what? Now my mind's going, what would actually have to happen for that to occur? I mean, it's like what needs to go down for it to be down everywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, is there like a single point of failure? I can't believe that that they would have a situation where there's one thing that can go offline that takes everything down around the whole world.
An internal DDoS attack or
Fair
virus
enough.
spread.
Yeah.
So it gets.
But I mean,
behind
still
the
again,
firewalls.
but then, like, again, I can understand it then targeting one of their products, Facebook or WhatsApp or Instagram. But all three of them, I mean, what's the common, I mean, does that mean that there's a common denominator between all three of those platforms? Because remember, those platforms were not developed by Facebook, right? They were developed outside of Facebook, and Facebook acquired them.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that from an infrastructure point of view, that the architecture would be different to Facebook, if you know what I mean. It's not like it's a product that's been built on top of the existing architecture of Facebook. And so my mind, it boggles my mind.
But Facebook is a marketplace as well. So they've got channels coming in. So it doesn't matter, I suppose. My point here is they've opened up to the wider world who can go and influence what you see. And it's not just people posting stuff.
Sure.
But banner ads and all the links behind those, all the analytics probably has a different channel through the infrastructure. It's got to be it's got to be something in that can spread. But I don't know, what was the error message that came up on the? Did it just say page unavailable? Or?
Okay, so the moment that I noticed there was a problem, I tried to send a message on WhatsApp, and it just wasn't going through. You know, normally you'll have the like little time icon, then you'll get one tick, then two ticks, and then once the person reads it, maybe blue ticks if they've got that feature turned on. Right.
Sure.
So now I'm in hazy view, spotty cell connectivity wherever. I'm out with my mates. I send him, I send a WhatsApp, and I notice it doesn't go through. So I think, maybe, it's just where we're sitting. We just don't have good cell connectivity, and we like continue.
Yeah, that's the first thought.
Whatever.
WhatsApp would never go down.
Yeah, exactly. Climb in the car. We drive down the line. I check my phone, it's still not going through. So then I send another message to someone else. Same thing. Just the hour, like the clock icon.
How long did this go on for?
Dude, it was, this was like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon was the first time I picked it up. And when I went to bed at 10, 11 o'clock that night, it was still off. My daughter said to me it came on for 10 or 15 minutes and then it disappeared again. And then came on sometime early in the morning. So 7, 8 hours, maybe a little bit more.
That's a major.
Right. And and then when I said to my mate, hey, listen, dude, I'm trying to send this WhatsApp, but it's not going through. Can you send a WhatsApp? So he tried to send a WhatsApp. It wouldn't go through either. Then we got back to the chalet, tried Facebook, tried Instagram. Everything says, can't refresh. That's it. That's all it said, can't refresh. And I mean, listen, it's one thing for it to be a social media platform, to be able to communicate and share your photos and whatever. But other people, there's a business aspect to it. Advertising, people, online shops, the whole thing, And listen, it's one thing for it to be down at night here in South Africa. But the reality is that that's during the day elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like in America, that's like during the day. Like when it went off at 5 o'clock in the evening, that's like 8, 9 o'clock in the US. So like in the US, it's like in your face. During the day, the service is non-existent. Yeah, and I tried to see if there was any communication about what had gone wrong. The only thing that the people were talking about was that whistleblower that had the day before had, communicated that they had evidence that they were ignoring some of the dangers that they had picked up with, to do with social media and it affecting like the impact on young kids and all that kind of stuff. Apparently there was a study or something that had been done. Yeah. Anyway, it's bizarre. But I mean, and then my mind extrapolates forward to, oh, wait, hang on a second. A lot of companies are moving their stuff to cloud-based technology. They're moving everything. What's the contingency plan? I mean, if a major corporation goes down for an entire day, that's some serious money that gets revenue that gets lost.
And most corporations, is the cat again? Hello, kitty.
Hello.
Hello, kitty. Corporations spend a lot of money on disaster recovery and redundancy to ensure business continuity.
Yes.
And that's obviously the right thing to do. But in my experience, as much as companies go down that route, spend a lot of time and effort understanding their infrastructure and what's the severity of the various applications and systems that they use, they do a good design, but they don't check the infrastructure. So over time,
test it or what?
Yeah. I mean, they do all the right things. Have a pre-production site, so everything's tested before it goes live. Yeah. But for me, a lot of companies have disaster recovery sites, so their applications synchronize across 2 or more locations, so that if they lose one, it can still function. Might be slightly slower, but everything is designed to redirect. Data and storage is all synchronized, so the information is available everywhere.
Sure.
And they don't actually test it to the extreme that they should. Simulate a whole facility, a data center, an IT space shutdown. See what happens. And I think they don't because it's quite high risk. What if it does cock out and doesn't work as planned?
Sure.
They're going to have the same issue.
And also it's time and money. I mean, if you say to me,
what's the value? It's not about the money. Well, I suppose it depends on the size of the organization. But if you have an outage, it's not just lost business revenues potentially. It's damage to your brand.
Absolutely. It's definitely reputational, all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying, when I say time and money, it's like often the governance aspects of these situations are always left until last, right? We implemented the system and the governance came later. Okay, these are the procedures. Once a year, you must do a disaster recovery exercise and whatever. Now, if I think about, now all of a sudden, you need to reproduce your current production environment in a sandbox environment to test your DR. Okay. So now you've got to set up your production environment. Yeah, sure, you got QA and dev, and you can use those for your DR exercises. But often you're using those environments already for something. You might be in the process of developing and testing something. So you can't really screw around with that environment. So you almost need another environment specifically for the DR exercise. Like sometimes to replicate the entire environment, especially if it's in the cloud environment, takes time. I mean, for us to get the thing in the production environment, it takes us a couple of months to go through the governance and the paperwork and to get it there, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's time. And then it's the money. Okay, fine, sure. You only need it for a couple of weeks or a week or whatever while you do your DR and that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's almost like often it's not factored into the to the equation. Like if I say, okay, I'm going to move something from on-premise to the cloud, okay, in my planning, not only do I need to plan for that environment, I also have to plan for the QA and the dev environment, but I also need to plan for the DR environment as well. It's like, how quickly can I spin up an environment to be able to do my DR exercise? I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Okay, so now we're getting onto the topic of the public cloud providers.
Yes. No names
mentioned. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think what we've seen emerge over the last years, since these become more prevalent for day-to-day use for business and other, people have adopted the public cloud's offering.
Yeah.
And I think for large corporations where the IT department control all aspects of IT for governance and protection and all these good things. So what happens is it becomes quite restricted for the user. So if you're in the marketing, I always use the marketing team as an example. They have an ad campaign they want to run, and they need to be more agile. So normally they would have to go to the IT department and say, please, can I have some web space? I want to upload this app, do this promotion. And this takes so long that they're just not agile enough, and it's just like, it's a waste of time. So what happens is they use the company credit card, go and spin up an instance on a public cloud, run the ad campaign, shut it down afterwards. IT department's none the wiser.
Sure.
Start propagating that. One department hears what the other one's doing and going, I'm going to do that because I can't be asked to go through all this governance through the IT team.
Yeah.
And now you're in a situation years on where the IT department have lost control of the company's IT. They don't know which application is now running where. We're paying all this money for this data center. I don't know who's using it.
Sure. No, exactly. And I mean, the thing
How
is
do you do
that
DR for that kind of stuff? And the other part is that, obviously public cloud offerings have come a long way and will still continue to evolve. But in the early days, there was no SLA with these guys. If it failed, it failed.
Yeah.
And that's a risk.
Sure. No, it's right. Absolutely. And I mean, we see it as well. Is that like people want to do something and then they have to follow this governance process and they just find it too tedious. But they don't understand why they need to do that. Because what will happen is they'll say, oh no, they've asked IT to create this, let's say, as an example. I mean, COVID is a prime example. This hasn't happened in our business, but COVID would be the prime example. They quickly need an application to be able to track COVID testing as an example. They go to the IT department. The IT department says, okay, business analysis, systems analysis, design, et cetera, user requirements, sign off. They go through the whole thing. Oh, no, that's going to take months, man. We need it now. Okay, no, screw it. You got some guy in your department who's not part of IT, but he's IT savvy, tech savvy. He goes and he spins up some Google-based app, and you start tracking there. Now all of a sudden you've put people's personal information out into a public environment, right? And then when you say to them, hey, listen, you can't do that because of, I didn't realize. Okay, but this is why we need to follow these processes. It's a prime example of how things can go bad very, very, very quickly. And I mean, you talk about reputational damage. I mean, imagine a large corporation that's put personal information out into a public space and it gets compromised. Yeah, it's a problem. Anyway, I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole.
We could go on. I was just looking on one of the newspapers covering the outage for Facebook, and according to Facebook's vice president of engineering and infrastructure, it was an error of our own making. And that just fuels the fire for me, going, you have change control.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more going on here. This is the safe story gone to the press, I think. But basically, he's also went on to say that they had to physically go to data centers that they very rarely go to reconfigure the global backbone.
Really? So that sounds like that's an inside job. What, internal sabotage of some sort?
They'll make a movie and then we'll all know.
Yeah. Snowden. Snowden 2.0. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Anyway, listen, dude. On the cryptocurrency front, I often read about these crypto billionaires, guys that have made their money on crypto. I mean, I suppose it's like, it's high risk, high reward kind of situation. Like you got to put a lot of money on some shitty crypto coin that happens to triple, double, double, triple, whatever, 1,000%, and then all of a sudden you find yourself you're a crypto billionaire. Like, I mean, what would you do with your money if you were a crypto overnight a crypto billionaire?
We were talking about the three. Well, I wouldn't say billionaire, but there is a guy that a few of us know who was dabbling in cryptocurrencies in the early days and was quite good at it and started telling people and helping people get on the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. And so he became a millionaire. But because he was quite open about his success and how can I help you achieve the same thing, the word got out. And he actually got kidnapped. Ooh. And they forced him to transfer all of his wealth. Mm. And then, just dumped him on the side of the road and off they went. So he lost it that way.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. Well, I mean,
So what would you do? I would build myself that castle again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't build that castle. I wouldn't let people know that
No, absolutely.
I'd rather
if you won the normal lottery, would you tell people?
No. I wouldn't, and it would be a slow burn kind of thing. I would.
Suddenly, you have an extra bike in your garden.
No. I would try and make it look like natural. Like as if you've done some business venture, and over a realistic period of time, it seems to have come to fruition. Right. I wouldn't go out and. I mean, because like the first thing that one could do is like pay off your mortgage. No one's going to be any the wiser that you've just gone and paid off your your bond, and then all of a sudden you've got a little bit, anyway, we can go down there. But the reason why I was talking about the story, I saw something during the week, an article where this crypto billionaire has just bought a $83 million mansion. Okay, which I think it is the second largest real estate deal this year. But what I found very, very interesting is that it's got 2 panic rooms in it. Two panic rooms. So it's just, I don't know. It doesn't say.
Why would you tell everyone you got 2?
Exactly. Well, I suppose with these kind of things, if you're looking in the right place and asking the right questions, you can find this stuff out. Because I mean, there must be plans for the house at some state, whatever. So people would be able to find this out anyway. But I suppose why would you advertise that? But I mean, it's a 20,000 square foot establishment. It's got 6 bedrooms, and what I find very interesting, 18 bathrooms. I mean, like you got 3 bathrooms per.
Maybe all
excuse
double
me. There goes the cat's allergies, dude.
Maybe they all double as escape rooms. Maybe there's more than 2.
Maybe they all lead into the escape room, and then there's a retractable roof. Yeah, and that's So this is what this guy did with his money. He went and bought himself a nice establishment. But why? Yeah, 2 panic rooms.
I got a little pop-up. There's a 29-year-old who's made the Forbes rich list, and is just on crypto. He's amassed $22.5 billion just from crypto, and he's a simple guy. I just want to live long and be healthy and give all my money away.
Well, gladly receiving stuff.
I'm open to charitable donations. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the other thing here. You think you think you can just quietly get on with things, but actually suddenly you're on rich lists. You're now publicized. People are wanting to interview you. You can't hide anymore.
That's true.
You got to keep it. So you got to keep it in crypto and never cash it in.
Yeah, never cash it in.
Otherwise, you're going to be in the spotlight.
I think the worst thing is, like, imagine if you're a crypto billionaire and you've got all your stuff in your hardware wallet or whatever, and you peg, and no one can access your crypto. Like, your kids like lose out on their inheritance.
Yeah, I leave all my cryptocurrency to my best buddy. Here you go, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, did I not tell you the password?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't give you the passphrase. Oh no, I'm sure there are lots of stories like that. Shit. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, listen, dude, have you got a Trumpism there for us?
No, I've been traveling, so I've not really done that.
Okay.
I've got one from way back when, if you want this one.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, so this is at a rally in Panama City Beach, Florida, 2019. And again, all right, we should preface this with this comes from the former leader of the biggest democracy in the world, who you'd expect to be an enigma. All right, here we go. There was a certain road in a certain state. They were working on it for 21 years. It cost hundreds of times more money. It used to be a straight line. Now it's a line like this. If you had a couple of drinks, you had a very bad shot of making it home. And that was it. Okay.
Very insightful.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you should have he was doing okay, sort of, with saying it's costing 100 times more than it should, and they've changed the design, and we need, dwell on that. Not go, oh, this is a complete shambles. And when you drive home, you're not going to make it. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, dear. All right. On this day. Today's is David Cameron's birthday.
Who's David Cameron?
Former Prime Minister. Yes. Yeah. John Lennon was born on this day, 1940. And then deaths on this day.
John Lennon.
Che Guevara died on this day in 1967. The thing about Che Guevara, everyone thinks he's Cuban.
Yeah, and he was?
He's Argentinian.
Oh, wow.
He was a freedom fighter.
Sure.
Right? So he joined the cause of the masses, and he became the icon of the Cuban Revolution. But after that, he went off to Africa somewhere to fight a civil war after that.
Oh, well, he's a professional.
He was a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he got royalties for every time his face was printed.
Yeah, geez, dude.
I mean, that could have done the freedom cause a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And today is the National Day of the it's International African Penguin Awareness Day. When did I can't pinpoint when they changed the name of the jackass penguin to the African penguin.
I don't know. I think there was this big shake-up a couple of years ago with the naming of birds all around the world. Like in South Africa, like we would have what is known as the grey lory, which is now called the grey go-away bird. That's the official name, grey go-away bird.
Who has the right to change this stuff?
I don't know. There's probably some international organization that vets the correct naming of these things. So I think that's probably when the penguin's official name changed. See, because I think what happened was, like, you would have the same kind of birds in different countries, and they called them different names. So eventually,
because the jackass is also found in South America.
Oh, right.
But then hang on, the new name is the African penguin.
Yeah. So maybe they only get it in Africa. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Today is two remarkable days as well. It's International Beer and Pizza Day, which
They
I
go
will be
well
supporting
together.
this evening.
Yes.
But it's also National Motorcycle Ride Day. This is your day, mate.
Oh, this is my day, and I'm sitting here
This is
talking
your
to
day.
you. Okay, cheers, bye.
What are you doing here, man?
Yeah,
Get
what are you
out of
doing here? Okay, well, I can confess I've already been on my bike today, but I wasn't doing it to celebrate.
Yeah, you need to celebrate.
I think I need to go out again and celebrate.
I think so, and grab some beer and pizza on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should tell Oleg.
Yes.
But he can't ride. He's got a dodgy wrist
and a dodgy knee as well. Apparently.
Yeah, you don't.
No, his knee's fine.
The knee you don't need. It doesn't matter. You can still eat pizza and drink beer.